Well, our edible landscape continues to be in transition as the summer progresses, and today we're planting hot peppers. These aren't just any hot peppers though, there's some special varieties that we wanted to introduce you to. This first one is called Numex Twilight. The reason it has that name is you'll have 4 colors of pods on the plant at one time. This is a small chili type pepper that starts out purple, then it turns red, yellow, and then finishes up with a bright blazing orange. It's a beautiful pepper, and I think you'll enjoy having it in your garden as well. And there's still time to get some of these in the ground. They have plenty of time to ripen up before we have a frost. And the center of our beds are planted with that, and then over where we have sort of a transept in the center of the garden, we have another variety that's called Trifetti. And the reason it's called that is that it also has triple colored pods on it, but the foliage is 3 colors. It's green, cream, and purple, and I think will be a beautiful complement to our purple alyssum that continues to thrive throughout the summertime. Now over in one corner of our garden, we've planted German chamomile. And chamomile is kind of a confusing herb to people, but the German one is the one that's pretty ideal for harvesting for use in herbal teas. In fact, if you've ever purchased a package of herbal tea, did you know that you can take that paper sack and scatter the tea on the surface of potting medium, moisten it, and there are enough seeds in there that you can get chamomile plants from that. Of course, the type would be unknown until you see the flowers, but we'll be anxious to show you the German chamomile as it develops throughout the season. Last of all, here in our edible landscape, we have some bush beans that we're going to plant. We want to make sure that you realize that one of the best seasons for growing beans is just now coming up. Make sure you get your bush beans in the ground sometime in the next couple of weeks for a good fall harvest. Well, I'm about done here. We've got some other plantings to do for fall over in our raised bed garden. Before we finish up our fall planting out in the garden, I thought I'd make your mouth water just a little bit. These are some heirloom tomato varieties that Daryl Merrill left us with last week after Oklahoma gardening, and we wanted to plant some of those heirloom varieties here in the garden, but take a look at the reason why. These are gorgeous, deep red tomatoes. This variety is Mr. Lincoln, or Abe Lincoln rather. Then this one is red brandywine, not to be confused with pink brandywine that you might be growing in your garden this summer. And really it's from a totally different line. But take a look at this one right here. This is called Aunt Jenny's Purple, and it does have a red to purple cast. Let's take a look at how that looks on the inside. I know our studio crew insisted that I cut this open before I start digging in the garden, so these tomatoes will be ready to eat once we're through taping. This is juicy and deep red all the way through. Now that's the reason that we grow tomatoes in the home garden. It's certainly worth every effort, so be sure that you do try some of these heirloom types, and keep in mind that we still have time in the planting season to get these going in the garden. If you are planting tomatoes, if you're picking up or digging up any plants from your garden and preparing a spot to put tomatoes in, take a look at the root system of those plants that you're pulling up, particularly beans, carrots, peppers, or tomatoes, and make sure that they have no nematodes. A little while ago we discovered in an older tomato bed some tomato plants that just seemed to not be thriving at all, and we took a look at the root system and found that they had a very knobby appearance, and it's a sure sign of nematodes, and there's no point in planting tomatoes right back in that spot. Now what I just planted is Mr. Stripey, which is a tiger striped tomato, and then this is the Aunt Jenny's Purple that I can't wait to taste more of later this fall. It tastes about like a brandywine, but a little more acid in flavor. Now, as you plant fall tomatoes, make sure that you put plenty of mulch around them. We'll want to be staking this because it's going to be a very tall, vigorous plant, and certainly you want to keep it well watered on into fall.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.